Hello everyone, welcome to our Microsoft Hybrid Infrastructure event. Today we're going to be focusing on our new service, Azure Arc. First, let's talk about why hybrid now. The surge of cloud migration post-pandemic has been massive in the region. The need for scale and to support remote work. Many organizations have moved to cloud. This also happened even in the highly regulated industries and in countries. But make no mistake, while the cloud migration is happening in massive scale, we also see new regulations coming up that demands data residency and data sovereignty. To add to that, again, our customers have tens and hundreds of applications running in their IT infrastructure. These applications can be running in diverse infrastructures, in different data centers, in hosting environments, in branch offices, and sometimes in multiple clouds. To add to this complexity, you may also be using different development tools, languages, frameworks, or technologies like DevOps, Kubernetes, or artificial intelligence. So, IT departments are facing a couple of challenges today. First, how can they seamlessly govern and secure their IT resources regardless of where they are running? How can they bring cloud innovation to the existing infrastructure? How can they modernize their local data centers? And how can you extend compute and AI to the edge to unlock new scenarios? At Microsoft, we have a long understanding of the reality of our customers that they are facing. And Azure has been designed from the beginning to help our customers meet those challenges. So here are some of the key reasons our customers are adopting a hybrid strategy. Some workloads cannot be basically moved to the public cloud due to regulatory and data sovereignty requirements. This is common in highly regulated industries like financial services, healthcare, and government. Some workloads, especially the ones that are running on edge, they require low latency. And also many companies have significant on-premises investments that they want to maximize. So they choose to modernize on-premises data centers and traditional applications. So it's just so, taking a hybrid approach makes the most sense for our customers today. And Azure takes a comprehensive approach and offers unique hybrid capabilities that gives flexibility to our customers to innovate anywhere in their environment. And Azure Arc adds to our portfolio of Azure hybrid solutions. With Azure Arc, you can have a single pane of glass view across your entire IT infrastructure. This includes Linux and Windows virtual machines, Kubernetes clusters, and database services that can be sitting on any public cloud, on-premises, and also on your edge infrastructure. With Azure Arc-enabled services, you have the flexibility to deploy Azure fully managed services on-premises or also in other public clouds. With the Azure Stack portfolio, you can bring Azure Consistent Framework to your own data centers, even running on existing certified hardware with Azure Stack HCI. Lastly, we know that increasingly new apps often include some aspects of the edge. So we brought in our comprehensive Azure Iot portfolio, there is consistency in the developer and management and the security experiences all the way to the gateway and to the tiny MCUs like Azure Sphere. So now that we've seen Azure Arc and how it fits into our overall hybrid strategy, let's look at what Azure Arc does. Today, you can benefit from three core scenarios with Azure Arc. First, you can organize all your resources consistently in Azure, whether they are Windows, Linux, SQL servers, or containers. You can govern and control them in a homogeneous way, and you can get visibility to them from a single pane of glass, all from within Azure portal. Next, you can leverage the cloud-native application development practices, meaning you can use DevOps techniques to deploy and manage Kubernetes clusters and apps at scale, and make sure that they are configured consistently as you build your Kubernetes-based applications. And lastly, you can run your Azure managed services, your data services, like Azure SQL Managed Instance and Azure Postgres Hyperscale anywhere, Again, it can be on your own servers, it can be other public clouds, or also on the edge. So next, let's look at a few real examples for these scenarios. For the first use case, I want to talk about Iot. Iot is one of the largest global system integrators, and they are using Azure Arc today to unify their customers' hybrid infrastructure. By using Azure Arc, Iot is helping their customers to simplify and standardize infrastructure management. They accelerate migration decisions, they reduce cost, and most importantly, they ensure regulatory compliance. For the next use case, let's talk about Kubernetes app management at scale. And I have a great example for that. With locations spread across all over Africa, the Africa's token is providing custom mobile, voice, messaging, and payment APIs for larger organizations and thousands of developers. With the limited cloud services in the region, the company found it difficult to offer containerization capabilities as customers are needing. With Azure Arc, what they did is they can manage multiple Kubernetes clusters and they can deploy data services wherever they are needed. And they can manage this from a centralized point of control and help their customers grow. Finally, let's talk about Ferguson. Ferguson is the largest wholesale distributor of plumbing supplies in the United States. And they use Azure Arc to deploy Azure Data Services to its own on-premises data centers. The company migrated their SQL Server database to an Azure Arc-enabled SQL managed instance, and they are enabled to use these features such as automated updates, backup and restore, monitoring, all in their own data centers from the Azure portal. So these are just a few examples. In fact, we have many more stories of our Azure Arc customers across healthcare, professional services, manufacturing, and more. You can check all of those examples at our website, customers.microsoft.com, and you can search for Azure Arc. All right, let's come to the great news. You can get started today with Azure Arc. Azure Arc enabled servers is already generally available. Azure Arc enabled Kubernetes and data services are in public preview, so you can also try those. If you want to get in touch or if you have questions, you can reach out to me from my LinkedIn account. With that, I'd like to thank you for joining us today. In our next session, we'll dive deeper into how you can enable Azure Arc for your organization. Have a great event. Thank you.